Welcome back to another Car Snubs road trip. I am up in sunny, beautiful Santa Barbara, literally bright on the sand. My ride this time is a 2021 Ford Explorer Limited. I went to my favorite Hertz, the local one. Last time I went to there, I got a 2020 Explorer, which is the last year of the previous generation. This is the first year of the new generation, which is currently being sold. So I figured it was a good test to check it out. The design didn't change too much, you know, headlights, taillights a little bit different, a little bit smoother design. I actually prefer the old design, I think a little bit better. It was more squared off, but size is relatively the same. It's still a 3-row SUV. This one is 4-wheel drive in this case. They are built on like a car chassis. They're not a body on frame truck chassis, so they got some capabilities, but they're not a true truck. Underneath the hood is Ford's famed 2.3 liter EcoBoost turbocharged engine. It has 300 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque. Plenty to get this thing moving. And honestly, if you've never driven one of these EcoBoosts and I told you it was turbocharged, I think you'd really be surprised because it doesn't even feel like it's turbocharged. It's just nice and smooth and really, really quiet. This new generation is quiet. We're gonna take it for a drive in a bit and you'll see how quiet it is. Rear seat room, it's pretty decent size. So I'll hop in here. I'm 6'3" for any reference. I can fit okay in here. And these actually adjust so you can go forward. This seat's back pretty far right now. I'm gonna show you why it's back so far. It's a weird feature that I'm not totally into. But you get cup holders. This is nice. Each passenger side gets a shade, so you can block out some of the sun. And inside here, you have your own climate control system, so each passenger gets that. Power, Ford is really good about power. You got a USB-C, USB, an actual 110-volt plug-in, and each of these back seats here, if you can see that, has their own seat heat, actual multiple levels of seat heat. So pretty nice place to be in the back. And the last couple generations of the Explorer have included a 3rd row as well. It's not optional, I believe they all come with it. So to access that on this particular version, you would put that down and then you would climb in like this. Oh God. Oh, honestly, not where I want to be spending my time, but you know what? If you got little kids, I think it'll work out. The only nice thing is though, I do have a lot of headroom, but my legs are pressed right up against the seats here. To the back of the car, I really love the way Ford is doing their new taillights now. They look really slick, nice orange color. Almost all the new models of Fords have those. Power gate, of course, as it should. Pretty simple. There's a button there. You can also do it on the fob if you press it down twice, and there's a button inside by the steering wheel. Got some stuff here for the road trip. There is more space than this because of that 3rd row. If you don't use that 3rd row like I wouldn't, you can actually get rid of it. So I didn't really know how to do it. I thought it made sense that you would have to pull this, but that doesn't do anything. So I looked over here, they're actually power, which is really cool. Speaking of power, you get another power outlet there, some LED lights, and each individually. So there's a left, there's a right, or there's a left and a right at the same time. So I'm gonna press both at the same time. Let's see what happens here. Well, one went down. I don't know what's going on with the right one. Something's definitely broken. There probably is a manual way to get it down. I just don't know how to do it. So not a good look that this is less than 2 years old and that's already broken. There's a really useless feature that I found on this car that's kind of annoying, and I feel like it's something that could break since I've already seen the back seats have broken. When you first get in the car, the seat is all the way back, like all the way back. I gotta stretch really far just to start it, and the button is way up here, and then it'll push my seat up to the spot that I had it. But I think this is really useless because I got plenty of room to get in and out already without that. And you're just annoying the person that's sitting behind you. If someone's in the back seat, your seat is pressing into them. I don't know if it's a feature you can turn off, but I haven't found a way to do it. So you shut the car off again, it'll go all the way back. The seat will go up. And I think this is because Americans are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they can't get out of the car. But there's a lot of room. You're a big person if you can't get out. This is the limited pack, like I said. So you get the nice bigger wheels, Some extra chrome trim. Interesting enough, you don't get running boards, but you don't really need it because the cars these days are quite a bit lower, easy to get into. It is time to rate the horn. Give me a horn score. I'm gonna give you an idea of how it sounds in the Explorer. I'm jumping on a Freeway Onramp. I got it in sport mode. Let's see what this thing sounds like. All right, that's 70 miles an hour, getting up to speed, sport mode. The shifting is definitely more aggressive. It's a little bit louder, a little bit more fun. It's really smooth though. This is a really smooth engine. I'm impressed. It's a 10-speed automatic, but there is no shift pedals on this one. It is an option if you're into that. Honestly, I think that's more of just like a cool, fun thing to have that you want to show off to someone for whatever reason, but you never use it. So I don't really miss that. And this sport mode, the shifting is so much more aggressive and fun, and it's gonna eat into your gas mileage a little bit, but I think it's worth it because I'm doing well above the speed limit right now and it feels really good. And it just reminded me, if you saw the video from the first one, the Explorer, I did the 2020, I named that one Shanice because it was shaky. Anytime it got over like 60 miles an hour, it would shake. And I think I found the source that it had a ton of wheel weights on it and someone really messed it up bad. No problem with this one, but since it's the same color as the 2020 Explorer I had, but the newer generation, Shanice's younger sister, I'm gonna name her Sherry. So this is Sherry. This is really interesting on the display. I'm in normal mode right now. You can see that it shows a car in front of me. It gives you the distance to that car. And when it's gray like this, that means you're definitely in the safe zone. When you get a little bit closer, it'll turn green and yellow and red when it thinks you're too close. But if you notice the car up there, it's another Ford product. It is a Ford Fusion, which, interesting enough, they don't even make that car anymore. So it's weird that they chose to put that car on the display. But I noticed when you switch it to sport mode, you get a different car. Check out what you get. I got a Mustang. Yeah, sport mode. Woo! Just kind of funny little note that I saw there. And speaking of, it says I'm in the red, so I should probably back off a little bit. Popped it back into normal mode now so you can hear the actual road noise. I got it right at the speed limit where it's supposed to be. It's got the active cruise control, so you don't get too close to anyone. It'll slow down for you. And it's also got the lane keep assist, which you can see. If I just try to go out of the lane a little bit here, it'll force me back in. So pretty cool safety feature. Same thing on the other side. It'll tell you just hug that edge, it'll kind of vibrate at you, and then it'll keep you right in that lane. It's pretty slick. My favorite version of it is Toyota's version, but this one's pretty good too, and it gives you the warning that you got to keep your hands on the steering wheel, of course. If you keep it off for too long, it'll buzz at you, and it'll actually try to stop the car if you do it for too long. But really nice driving vehicle. I think they improved the ride quality a lot from the previous generation. So in that aspect, I do like it. I love that 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine. I really understand now why people like this engine. This is the first version I've driven of this. Also the same one that they put in like the Focus ST and that Ford Fiesta that everyone wanted. I can only imagine that it's just even that much more fun in those cars because they weigh half as much. Because you put this thing in sport mode, and how much this thing weighs, I think it's over 5,000 pounds. It is a fun car to drive. One spot I wish I had the lane keep assist on. I do have the lane keep assist option on, but as you see, the line is really bad here. The road is actually split, it's under construction. And it'd be handy to have it on this one, because if you miss this, you could be in a lot of trouble if you get off the road on this one. One thing I have noticed that I'm not really a fan of is the brake pedal is really spongy. I feel like I gotta stomp down on it. I don't know if that's indicative of the new ones, because this one has almost 40,000 miles on it, so it could just be brakes are wearing, the fluid's low. I'm not exactly sure, but if they all drive like this, it's interesting, because I feel like I really gotta stomp on the pedal for it to stop significantly. It's where if you had an emergency, I think it'd be really odd that you had to step that hard on it. Let's go over the interior of the car. The 2019, when I drove that, I was really impressed with the build quality. I think Ford kind of cheapened out on some materials here. This lot of hard plastics. The only soft touch really is this kind of center, which is where your arm really needs to be, but feels a little bit cheap for the price point. Inside here too as well. very hard stuff. Even the top of the dash is pretty hard plastic. Obviously the screen. And here, this is interesting, the Limited comes with this wood, plasticky wood, but they didn't extend it to the side because remember you have silver over here, and then they went wood on the dash to kind of spice it up. But other models actually just extend that silver, or the aluminum, and I think it actually looks better than this. And they kept it here too as well, so I don't know why they didn't extend any of the other wood accents. Anyways, obviously your start stop button, the screen is up here. Lots of buttons on the steering wheel. It's pretty intuitive, nice system. Once again though, hard plastic. You do have a leather wrapped wheel though. And one thing that kind of bothers me about the steering wheel, sometimes I like to drive with my hand on the bottom, and I can't fit my entire hand in the bottom of this, so a little bit annoying. You kind of gotta do it to the side. It just depends on how you drive and what you prefer. Over here you got your lights set up. You got a liftgate lights. Obviously it does have automatic high beams, which is a really cool feature. They'll automatically turn off and on when it senses cars coming. Your mirror changes. It does have the power folding mirrors, which is always a nice option. 3 position memories and the 12 speaker Bang & Olufsen system. Again, I think the sound system in the 2019 was better because the way that car was designed, it wrapped around and it just felt more acoustically better than this system can provide, where the speakers are just going this way, whereas before they were coming right at you, more in a surround experience. It sounds good. It's just not anything amazing, I don't think. And you have some nice deep pockets. Lots of storage in this car. There's big pockets down here. There's storage in the center here with lots of power. Ford's really good about power. USB-C, USB, your 12-volt cigarette lighter as well. I got my coffee, of course. This little slot here works good as a phone holder. They claim it's for your key fob, which works too, I guess, if you're into that. Let me turn this on quick so you can check out this shifter. Now, I'm not a big fan of these dial shifters, but it works as it should, and it takes up less space, so I can't extremely argue it. The only thing I don't really like is I usually like to rest my hand on the shifter, and now I'm kind of like, what should I do with my hand? It's a little weird, and the armrest is pretty far back, so you got a lot of open space here. Parking brake, this is a hold feature, which is kind of neat. You can press this on, and it'll hold the car even if you're in drive. It won't move, so kind of nice if you're in traffic or something like that, but probably pretty rarely used. You got your drive modes, auto start stop. I hate auto start stop, and this one is extra terrible. If the engine is off, you can't steer, so it's kind of odd if you're waiting to make a turn and the engine cuts out and you go to turn the steering wheel and it won't move. So I don't like auto start stop, but you do have to manually turn it off every single time you drive the car if you don't want to use it. But it's right next to you in the middle. Traction control on and off, and hill descent control. Center storage is pretty big. You can see that there. Nice little tray. Lots of storage in this car. The glove box is really big. That's a nice glove box. Got those big door pockets again over here on the side. Check out the seats. Obviously the ventilated seats, you need the holes. Pretty good. There is an upgraded package. I think it is the Platinum Edition, where you can actually get the diamond stitch seats, which always look a little bit better, but these are the standard leather seats in the Explorer. I thought it might be interesting to see what the car actually looks like at night. I'm in an alley here, get an idea of the headlights. It's a pretty dark alley, and it's gotten the nice bright LED headlights, as most new cars have now. The driver's screen, I got it on the calm mode, which I like the best, so it doesn't have all this extra stuff up here just getting in the way. You can see your automatic headlights, tech, speedometer, temperature, gas, normal stuff. The steering wheel is lit up pretty good. The side windows and your memory, and then these lights can actually change color, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Center screen, of course. This is the smaller center screen, which I actually prefer. The other one is a giant big iPad like you see in Tesla and things like that, and it's just too much. I like the old school buttons. You got the classic volume knob, which every car should still have, but some don't. Tuning, things of that nature. You got your hazard lights, HVAC controls, heated seats, heated steering wheel, which I never thought I would use, but it's pretty nice. The cooled seats, and then we got the center here with the shifter, driving modes. There's a little ambient light, which is actually kind of nice and not too distracting, coming up from up top. And then of course you got your regular LED lights like that, and you can do each one individually as well. No sunroof in this one, so just the flat panel. Center, actually no light in the center storage, but you do have light in that one. Glove box, no light again, interesting enough, which you'd think there would be. But let's take a tour of this really quick. So right now this is the Sirius audio, but you can change it to any other kind of audio you want. AM, FM, Bluetooth, connect your phone. Phone, you can actually dial the phone just like anything else. Navigation, you can see is pretty good. I prefer to use the one in my phone, but this one looks pretty good as well. Apps, you can get multiple mobile apps, the Sirius apps. Once your device is connected, you can see all your apps. Settings, there's the forward pass. You can connect the app to your car, and you can start the car remotely, things like that. Bluetooth, clock, all that general type of stuff. Voice control, 911. Oops, don't want to call them right now. And this is what I was talking about earlier, this ambient light. This is kind of cool. You get a cool color palette. So as you can see right now, it's on the red, and we got the red lighting there and down on the bottom. But if I switch it to one of these, let's say this one, then the colors instantly change. They are now like that. Or maybe this one. Pretty neat little feature, very nice. And I think you can set up valet mode. You can set up the car, customize it pretty much however you want. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. Pretty much everything you could ask for. There's one other thing I wanted to show you, which is these driver assistants. You can see how much safety features this car has. The intelligent cruise control, lane keep assist, pre-collision avoidance, speed sign recognition. It'll tell you what the speed limit is on that road. Rear camera, blind spot, trailer sway, cross traffic, driver alert. So it'll shake the steering wheel if it senses you're not paying attention and give you a warning. Pretty cool stuff. This is cool. Front camera. So you can check out all that stuff. And the 360 mode is really, really cool. If you actually look at that, this is an amalgamation of like 4 cameras all around the car, and then it creates a total circular picture of your car. Really comes in handy if you're parking, things of that nature. You can get different views here. That's the 360. You can get just the front, so you can see the whole front, or you can get like a 2/3 view around the front. Same thing when you go backwards. I'll put it in reverse. Obviously the opposite. You get the back camera and the 360 mode. I'll just move it a little bit so you can see how close you are to objects, things of that nature. Pretty cool feature. It's got the front sensors and the rear sensors, so it'll beep as well. Super easy to park, and when you're parallel parking, especially in Los Angeles, some spots are really tight. I was able to get right on the curb, so pretty neat feature. And this is my favorite though. Check rear seat for occupants. So in other words, don't leave your kids in the back seats. Pretty funny and sort of sad that we have to do that. Let me give you a better look at this 360 camera system. I'm gonna back up here. You can see on the right, you get a full view all around you. And as you can see on the left, the lines in the parking lot actually show up in the 360 system as well. It's pretty slick, so it'll give you a perfect parking spot every time. I went to connect my phone and it said there's too many devices. So this is a friendly reminder that you need to delete your phone after you're done with a rental car. Not just to be nice to the next person, but also there's a lot of information that people can get off of your phone from here. For instance, this one, I can tell it's an iPhone 13. I have their Bluetooth address. I know that they use AT&T and all kinds of other information. Some people even put their contacts into a car's stereo. Do not do that. At the very least, if you do, delete it when you're done. Look at all these. Carlos, Matt, Hugh, Peggy. And wait a minute. Vivian's iPod Touch? Who are you? This is 2022 and you're still rocking the iPod Touch. So this is day 4 of the Explorer. I put like 300 miles on it, so I got a pretty good idea of what it's like now. It's fun. This EcoBoost, I understand why people like it. It's just enough power. It's quick, especially when you drop it in sport mode. You can throw this thing around and it handles really, really well. Now, the styling, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's kind of boring, at least in this limited pack. There are some other trim levels that look pretty decent. So pricing is my huge issue though. This is the limited edition. It starts at $47,000. So we're knocking on the door of 50, and there's additional options on top of that that can get you up to $50,000. The XLT pack starts at $38,000, and it has the same engine, same powertrain, same screen. You can even get leather in it, and I don't see the difference to bump this up $9,000. It's just too much of a chasm with all the extra options. So if I were you and I was looking at Explorer and you want to save some money, check out the XLT. If the powertrain is really important and this EcoBoost isn't enough for you, and trust me, it's enough for pretty much everyone out there, but you can bump it up to the ST pack, which gets the next level EcoBoost engine and an extra 100 horsepower, which is just insane. And also the styling is I think a little bit more fun and aggressive. It has like the blacked out rims, the blacked out grills, and it just looks a lot sportier. And that starts at $48,000. So if you're already at 47 for this limited, I would bump it up to 48 and get the ST pack. That's the play here, I think. Don't spend $50,000 on a new Ford Explorer just for the luxury of it, because at 50, you're in some pretty high territory there. The Lexus RX 350 I just drove recently, that was equally as fun to drive, and the interior is just next level materials compared to what you get in the Explorer. Ford is really focused on marketing now. You know, their new CEO, Jim Farley, he's a really cool guy and an actual car guy, which is nice, but the mundane everyday cars that people actually do buy kind of get pushed to the side, I think, in his mind. He wants to focus on the Bronco, the Mustang, the Maverick, the electric F-150, you know, the cars that are getting all the attention from the press, because Ford wants that good press, and they're not building very many of those cars. That's the problem. Huge demand on every single one of those vehicles, and they're not building that many. What people tend to forget is the actual buyer at the Ford dealer is buying the Explorer, they're buying the Escape, maybe an Edge or the EcoSport, their little SUV. These are the cars people are actually buying, but they're not the cars that get the press. So in his mind, the customer is walking in, they're looking at the Bronco, they're looking at a Mustang, they can't get it. Maybe it's a little bit out of their price range. Well, we have another option for you. We have an Explorer, we have an Escape. And I think there's a lot of cost-cutting measures going into these to make it kind of appear that you're in the cool brand, but you didn't quite go for the cool car. I think that's the case here. You tend to forget about the Explorer. The Explorer's been bread and butter for Ford for 30 years now, but I feel like it's kind of got left to the wayside now. This is a heavily competitive segment. I just was in the new Jeep Grand Cherokee, same exact price point as this, and now you can get a third row in that if you want as well, like the Explorer. Leaps and bounds ahead of the Explorer in the interior department, and let's be honest, the people that are driving this, their main concern is the interior. So I just think they cut some corners here. It's a great used car if you find one 2 years old like this one, and it's 30 grand with 30,000 miles. Yeah, I think that's a bargain. You get a lot of great tech with this, and the advancements and the driving, it's nice, but it's not 50 grand nice. That's my final verdict. So go use, get the ST if you want the sporty one, but if you're gonna get the 2.3 EcoBoost and spend $50,000, I think that's a horrible, horrible mistake. And shop around the Grand Cherokee, like I mentioned, even the Lexus territory, or Hyundai and Kia are really making some great products now too. If you're on the luxurious side, the Telluride and Palisade,
those are comparable size, and they've just really been focusing on that bread and butter stuff that, like I said, Ford is now concerned with the more fun, sporty stuff to put their name out there, and kind of just sending the regular stuff to maybe the B-level engineers. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, give me a comment. Even if you think I'm wrong, let me know why. Put it in the comments below. I'm always happy to get back to you. Until next time, I'll see you on Car Snubs.